Hello, everybody, and welcome in to our game. Today, I am Thousand Eyes. I am joined by myself, Thousand Eyes, and my producer, Thousand Eyes. And we are completely going to be going off the rails because I am doing everything myself tonight. But I am excited to be here. And tonight we have some very good games set up today. We have No Name Gaming, KNG, and we have Grompy Gromps on the red side, GG. KNG running a sub, so they will be unfortunately losing a ban for the draft throughout the night, but we will be getting through, and we are just seeing everything go through. Diana ban, don't want to give that one away. She's been pretty strong, and I'm assuming there's some people playing it. I did get a chance to look at Grompy Gromps a little bit. There is a Pantheon mid player, and I don't have any respect for that, so I'm glad that that's being banned away. On the other side, though, the Wukong looks like we're going for some standard meta bans coming through for Grompy Gromps, and cannot blame them. Those champions that they have banned so far, very, very good. Do not want to deal with them. As such, they are on the wrong side in the lobby. Okay, never mind. I thought that was the draft guy. I was like, y'all, I checked like 3 times here. Don't mess with me on this. Regardless, we are continuing on in KG going forward. Their last ban. We will see what is going to be left up here for first pick. Silas going to be taken away. I know that KG may, if they had that other ban, maybe would have wanted to ban the Tristana. Grubby Grubs do have a good amount of Tristana on their plate. So would be interested to see if that was going to be taken away, but it will not, regardless. Seraphine going to be the final ban. So Grompy Grubs banning the meta away. Do not want to see anything that is currently meta, but we do have the 8 carries available. Jinx being hovered right now. Things like Ezreal, Zeri, all of those on the board. So it might just be a trade out the gate for KNG. They're going to look to hopefully prioritize that Jinx. Yep, going to lock that one in. Zeri and Ezreal still available. Game does decide to get that late. Would be very good for Grompy Gromps. We'll see what they want to get. Like I said, the Tristana is a pretty staple pick for a couple of their players from what I have seen. We will see what they want to take away. The Kog'Maw is what they're going to pick up here. Possibly followed up with an enchanter like the Lulu or the Gianna. It's going to be the Lulu lock-in. The classic, the Protect the Puppy comp coming in already. Grompy Gromps going for a defined style. KNG has to figure out, do they want to lean into this team fight style of a game, or do they want to go for something that has a little bit more pressure in the early game? Or possibly, you know, just all in on the early game, try and feed this Jinx and snowball the game out of control. One of the things about Jinx is she's very good in team fight style comps that want to go to the late game, but she's also very hard snowballing. So if you do start getting her ahead, she gets out of control very, very quickly thanks to her passive speeding her up. Looks like KNG, they have a little bit stronger of an early game with that Jarvan lock-in here, and the Nautilus bot lane gonna be a point of interest for KNG. I would not be surprised to see a lot of action going on in that early game there. The Udyr being hovered by Grompy Gromps, another tanky frontliner that they may go for to try and give time for this Kog'Maw. So would not. Oh, nope, just going to be the Volibear there. All right, so I like the Volibear better. I think it has a little bit more of a comparison to this Jarvan as opposed to the Udyr that kind of doesn't do a whole lot in the early game. Jarvan's going to be very, very active. You would like something that has a little bit of activity in that early game to match. So the Volibear lock-in very much making sense. Not surprised to see that, and it is a fairly meta pick, despite the fact that Grompy Grobs do not seem to like meta picks based on their early bans. Already through the next ban phase, Rumble and Vex, the 2 Yordles being taken away, and Grompy Gromps taking away Irelia and Yasuo, the two solo Q terrors. A little bit of a grouping going on between the teams, but Vigar hovered right now. Vigar has been a very prominent pick as of late. LeBlanc has seen a little bit of action, but I'm very surprised to see it here. Grompy Gromps going for a little bit of a swap in their composition here, having a little bit stronger early game, but also blind picking this LeBlanc. This can go really badly. If you go for a LeBlanc blind, there's a lot of counters to it. You can do things like the Lysandra that I was about to say, and I didn't want to oversay it, and then it not happen. But yeah, it did get picked up, and then the Aatrox blind for KG for just the solid pickup there. Hovering the Ord, Grompy Grumps are the Malphite. I think Ord or Malphite work great. You don't need to interact with it. Don't go for the Swain, please, for the love of God. But Malphite would be great there. A very hard tank. Ornn does the trick as well and gives a solid amount of engage or disengage if needed. But now, with that LeBlanc getting countered so very hard, not a fun time if you are LeBlanc. You could really never trade outside of a Q chain into the Lysandra. And especially with that Jarvan, you get rooted. LeBlanc usually very hard to gank. There's a lot of great setup here. You have Lysandra into Jarvan. That is an early game nightmare for the mid lane. So I believe the teams will be moving into the champ select here very shortly. And we will see how things shake out in terms of the game right here. But I want to just go down through the teams here and see if we have a little bit of compositional things to talk about, because we have this Cogball, obviously, who's just extremely potent in the late game, very, very strong, but has to get time to get there. And you have so much mid-game power in No Name Gaming's composition. As I have the teams backwards, I will fix that in just a moment. I apologize. Did not swap the teams, and that is my own bad. That is not even the bot having things backwards. That is a-okay. And yeah, I am definitely excited to see how things work out. Hey, I said swap sides, you ding dong. Gonna swap sides? Please swap sides. Hello, there we go. Yeah, No Name Gaming on the blue side, Grompy Gromps on the red. So, like I was saying, Grompy Gromps, they have that Cogball, they have the Lulu. Their late game is going to be strong in that sense, but their mid game going to be a bit of a struggle here, because you have Ornn, who needs time to get to level 13 to get the ornaments going. The LeBlanc, who is going to be hard countered in lane. The Jarvan versus the Volibear. Those are decent matchups there. However, you don't have any lane that can really match you. You don't have any pressured lanes. Kog'Maw Lulu might have a little bit of a push, depending on how trades go. Kog'Maw has surprisingly decent trades in lane if you let him get some auto attacks off. However, there's no clear lane here that is going to allow Volibear to play aggressive. It is all going to be ganks and counter ganks. It is not going to be playing off any lane aggression, because LeBlanc, who usually would have some pressure in a lot of lanes, not able to keep up the push here, because she will have to risk herself in order to push the lane. Ornn not going to be able to really go toe-to-toe with that Aatrox in the early game either. So everything in the early game should be in favor of No Name Gaming, and they should have the run of the map if they want it. And I am just going to be keeping my eyes on that bot lane, because, man, when I see a Nautilus and a Jarvan, that is signaling a lot of pressure on that bot side. And that not usually a fun time if you're a Cogball player. However, the mid lane, like we said, also very, very potent here. KNG, their composition as a whole doesn't have as strong of a late game. Ornn will be a much stronger front line than anything KNG have for themselves, and will beef up the rest of the team as well with those ornaments. On the other hand, though, the mid game power spike, the early to mid game here, outside of Jinx, all of these champions are incredibly strong in the early to mid game. Jarvan, one of the best level 2 gankers of all time, will not really be changing anytime soon. And with how much setup he has as well. Nautilus, really good at early setup engages for their jungler. Lissandra, easy. If LeBlanc tries to go in, boom, W, get her. Then you go hard on that one. So there's a lot there. Ornn, Aatrox should be able to keep pressure on that Ornn pretty hard. And when you get into those mid-game team fights, that ultimate will heal you so very much. KNG really looking to start strong and keep that momentum going throughout the game. If at any point Grompy Gromps start to get an edge for themselves, that Kog'Maw is very quickly going to become a big problem that needs to be dealt with. As the teams are going to be going into our spectator delay here. I believe I will be going to a spectator delay myself, as we are we've pretty much gone through everything going through on these teams. So we will take a quick break and be right back after this, guys. Do not go anywhere. right, everybody, welcome in. We are finally in game, as we are going to see the teams spreading out. Looks like there might be a little bit of level 1 action, as we have GG thinking about it, and the scoreboard decided to not work with me. I can't tell until you guys see it, so I unfortunately have to do it afterwards, but should be fine. Scoreboard, please. Work with me. Work with me here. There we go. Scoreboard's up. Cool. And it will just be a little bit of a weird split. Not very late into that red jungle. Our Grompy Gromps. You love me unluckified. I'm going to check it very safely. Be very, very careful about it. I got really concerned when I started hearing Ornn. was wondering what was going on, what that noise was. But regardless, game will start as intended. Junglers both starting on their red buffs. So a bit of a mirrored jungle start. That does mean ganks all around will be a little bit different. I'm a little surprised to see Jedi Master Windu starting on the red buff and not the blue buff. Wants to go towards that top lane for the level 3 gank there. I feel like, and this is just me, you absolutely would want to get this bot lane going against the Cogball and put this Cogball in the ground as much as possible. Aatrox should be able to handle his own, and killing Ornn is hard at any point in the game. Cogball doesn't have as many escapes in the early game as the Ornn would. So might be a little bit of a mistake. Might be wrong on that. As trades happening in the mid lane, both electrocute procs hitting. As level 2 hit by the Nautilus and Jinx. They will just zone off Gimgoon. Also doing a bit of the same against this Ornn up at the top side, and this is about what we expected to see. As the teams will just continue to do what we expect. Full clear coming from Luckified, who's only just now finishing those Raptors. Jarvan has finished his first clear. Does not have any ganks to take here, and will just wrap back around and go for these Raptors. Possibly trying to beat this Volibear on the bottom side here after the full clear. Some nice trading up in that mid lane from 300 is a great film. That is a name that is going to absolutely stick in my memory. And Nautilus going for a little bit of a row, but nothing too major. Is, yeah, things just going to be kind of seeded a little bit here by Grompy Gromps. Eventually, there will be some action from these junglers, but so far it is Jarvan just free to kind of do what he would like. Will get this Scuttle Crab on the bot side, meaning Volibear doesn't have a great option. Will get double scuttled, and they will see Volibear coming towards this bot side. They are fully aware. They do back off on to their Dark Frenzy and Lao Shao, not wanting to get hit by that gank and give any room to this Cogball that they don't have to. And so far, very, very slow game. This favors KNG, as we have talked about too, because they are going to have inherent advantages in lane without any jungle mismatching going on. It does mean that Dark Frenzy, Lao Shao, they have that push on the bot side. They have the capability to duel pretty well. A lot of time being spent by Luckified. I would be surprised if they're going for a dive here. As now 300 is a great film. Pushing forward, getting the flash out of Lil Condemn, who does not want to deal with that. That is some pretty solid LeBlanc play to force this Lissandra out and not allow her to get any control of that lane. Yeah, Aatrox holding his own fine. And I think just the biggest thing here is now, well, now that TP also burned, so this does mean Lil Condemn kind of just ceding the pressure there, making sure that he really doesn't, or sorry, 300, making sure that Lil Condemn does not have any more space to deal with. But because of the TP back into lane and the pressure on the bot side, that does mean the first dragon will be going over to that Jarvan, as directed camera does not seem to think that's important at all. KNG get that pretty cleanly, pretty easily off of the rotation. You Love Me. I love what You Love Me is doing here, making sure that that dash is always available to get out of the Aatrox W, and make sure that there is no tether that is actually going to hit. This Ornn will be very, very safe. I also like the pickup of the Summoner Spellbook. Not going to be trading much with this Aatrox, always going to be staying at range. So some solid stuff from You Love Me. And now as the dragon is down, there's really not going to be much to contest here. Gimgoon now getting flashed on by Luckified, as Gimgoon will flash away himself from the dash. So a flash for a flash trade, but jungle flash always a bit less important than that top lane flash. Makes Gimgoon a little bit more susceptible going forward, but I don't think it'll be too big. It does give a good amount of pressure back to this Ornn. Make sure this Ornn can stay safe, not at risk of a flash dive of something of the sort from Gimgoon. So we need to check in for CS right now, as Gimgoon, a nice 10 CS above right now, had to back after that. Did walk back into lane pretty solidly in the lead still. On the other sides, though, we do have, surprisingly, this Volibear keeping up decently with the Jarvan here. Despite all of that time spent on the bot side. As Luckified now coming back, knows that the flash is down. Gimgoon a little bit of trouble, does have the ultimate, will pop it. Luckified trying to tank him as much damage as possible, dealing as much. Gimgoon not going to survive this one at all. The crowd control is huge, as now, wait, the dash away, hold on. You Love Me taking a lot of damage, unable to get it. There's the first blood, as now they may have taken too long. Here is the counter. You Love Me flashing away now. Luckified is stuck in the middle of it. Now the hook will hit from Lao Xiao. The nice roam. One kill down, and Luckified gonna be next to double kill as 300 coming up for the counter, maybe going in forward, igniting. I don't know, might be getting that one. Will get one kill in return. There is the clone. They're gonna try and go for that. They actually butt the clone, and now 300 has a little bit of extra time. Will dash over the wall and get away for now, but that is the wrong side of the map. That's not where you want to go right now. And all of that just given for a little bit of time on the tower for the bot lane. A really nice roam from Lao Xiao, and the fact that they couldn't close out on that Aatrox comes in clutch. They took so long to kill Gimgoon that even though he died, even though he was first blood, the counter was there. 300 showed up late there as well, and Luckified and You Love Me just unfortunately took very, very long. Jarvan Low Condemn showed up, as well as Lao Xiao. It was so difficult there for any of them to deal with that. So really smart roaming and making sure that Gimgoon just stayed alive. And I'm going to say a little bit sloppy there from You Love Me and Luckified. I feel like they kind of played with their food a little bit. They had ample time to just confirm the kill, but I guess they were trying to confirm it to one person or the other, and it did not work out. Now we do see things gonna slow down just a little bit. We do have Dragon in a minute 20 here. And that is going to be a very highly contested one, as I think despite the power that you would expect KNG to have right now, Grompy Gromps have to feel pretty solid after getting a kill on this Ornn. The Ornn does have some tanky stats there. You can see holding his own a little bit better in this lane than before. And that TP will not be available, will not be unleashed even, so nobody will be showing up there. It is really just all about the fact this Lissandra 2-0 now has the makings of that Everfrost to keep people in place. And has that lost chapter compared to LeBlanc, who does not, so the mana management going to be important. Not important right now, though, because they are going in. Lao Shao got a flash away. Still gets hit by the chain. A double chain comes out to try and root Lao Shao again. Will hit that. There's the polymorph. Ultimate comes from the Volibear, making sure that tower is down, and they're going to keep tanking it. Luckified holding on to it to make sure nobody else goes down. But meanwhile, with that mid lane gone, it means the Rift Herald can be used to get some nice, solid damage on that mid lane tower, and a lot of plate gold going to that Lissandra and Jarvan. Yeah, 4 plates down. Look at them gonna just E over the wall. With that pressure on the bot side, though, this does give forward momentum for Grompy Gromps to take the second dragon, and they will get it despite the pressure in the mid lane. So, overall, a slight win there for Grompy Gromps. Even though the gold probably not showing it, I think just the fact that, here comes the Hex Flash over the wall. Snowboy still doing a lot of damage. This Jinx has to back away. Now Lao Shao has to run himself to try to dive this top lane now with 2, and will use that ultimate on herself. Is Lissandra, but now here comes 300 as a great film. The tower shot will get that one a shutdown to 300. And now both of those mid laners have 2 kills. Both of them pretty happy. What was a solid dive at the mid lane, once again, just a little bit too long, a little bit too sloppy, and it's very hard to dive in Ord, and you can see now why. They spent 3 people, and all it took was 1 more person to show up, and at the end of it, and clean up an extra kill for a trade. Lao Shao, doing a little bit of jungling, feeling fine about it. As now Lokadem trying to go forward, cutting off there. Heverfrost will force out the flash from Luckified. A little bit of over-aggression there. Luckified doing pretty solid into that Volibear. Or on that Volibear, rather. Getting a lot of CS right now. Farming very decently, as well as having an impact on the map. The Jarvan has been solid, but honestly, with how much this Jarvan is going to fall off, the Volibear feels like it might be a little bit of the stronger pick going into the late game. Now, this is what we wanted to see. The engage potential here, as I stumble over my words. The engage potential here from Lokadem is so good. You love me now. Very quickly becoming hard to deal with, as you can see, trading very well into this Aatrox. Now, bot lane. They are spotted on a ward for this dive. Not going to get this one, and there's no objectives to really take, so it's just a little bit of a time waste. It will back away, be okay, though. And, yeah, the scaling is starting to come in, starting to become a problem. As Ornn will not be bullied around by this Aatrox anymore. He's gotten sick of it, and a Rageblade rush from this Kog'Maw already. Lokadem going to get rooted. 300 just backs away, but now LeBlanc also smartly trading with this Lissandra. You cannot trade the normal way you would against anybody else. You can't W in. You will get rooted over and over again. And 300 recognizing that, getting the chains down, using the double chains to just keep pressure on this Lissandra and just keep popping damage onto her and make sure she cannot trade as well because she is not getting in that melee range. 300 now looking, possibly going in, missing the chain, will ignite, and now will back away. Luckified there to cover on the escape. Lokadem doesn't die, but definitely does put his team at risk, because he does not have a TP, will not be really helpful in a fight. 300 actually messes up the jump there, does not get punished for it, pops back to the clone and gets away. Dragon spawning in a minute and a half, and a lot of pressure being around here. Snowboy caught out very alone here. Might be in trouble there. Is the Lulu ult immediately, but they are going to immediately go on to that Kog'Maw, and Lulu is not going to be doing enough. Jedi will take that kill, and now we see Luckified just stuck in the middle of a CC train. Will follow very shortly. A little bit sloppy there in the middle of that fight. Not sure why everyone was there, but they do get the kills, and they do get the opportunity to set up on Dragon. KNG very happy with that trade overall, and they will have complete vision control over Dragon in the next minute. So now we do see Jinx getting close to that mythic, not having it just yet for this. So it does mean that Kog'Maw still has a little bit of a power advantage for this next fight. But more importantly here, teleports will be available. Unfortunately, You Love Me not able to use that teleport just yet. Gimgoon does have the TP available. They're actually starting on this Rift Herald first, as You Love Me should be kind of aware that this is happening. They spotted it out with the ward for a split second. Avenel holding on, getting another ward down to see where that's at. Here comes Lil Condemned to give a little bit of extra presence here. This does mean they're giving up this next dragon, though, because despite that win around the bot side and the ability to get those wards down, they don't actually prioritize it. They're going to try and go for both. This might be a little bit of a greed. Luckified already started it up, taking some damage from the Jinx, as Lao Shao also moving forward to try and create some pressure. They have the Ornn nearby. Gimgoon takes a lot of damage before this fight, and that means that Aatrox is going to have to pop that ult early. Ornn has to be in the right spot for this, because they need to get that ultimate down. Dark Frenzy very far forward. What are you doing up there, buddy? You're taking a lot of damage very low, as they will take her out of the fight, but not dead yet. Snowboy gets onto Gimgoon, does get that kill, as LeBlanc will kill onto the Jarvan. Low Condemn next on the menu, as You Love Me gonna have to flash away from the Ornn dash, and constant damage coming in. Lao Shao having to back away, will hook to the tower and survive, but that is a very unfortunate fight for Grompy Gromps, and what should have been a dragon that was all theirs, they have to give away to the side of KNG. And that is a second dragon for them at about 16.5 minutes. No soul early in this game, but definitely feels like there was a little bit given away there that shouldn't have been, as Grompy Gromps will pick that one up. Kog'Maw also has been relatively untouched outside of one fight here. Both teams have had one fight where their AD carry just not in the right position. I may have jinxed that. Snowboy flashes away from the flag drag and will stay alive, but once again, these AD carries, they're playing champs that are not very potent at getting away from things, as the Lissandra will ult herself to stay alive. Now there is Lao Shao to give a little bit more protection. Jedi Master window in very deep. Gimgoon there with him, but there's no damage from this Jinx, as she's getting jumped on by the LeBlanc rather. Gimgoon very, very low, will not stay alive. Look at Snowboy over the wall, able to put damage out constantly. And now Lil Condemn gonna try and keep his support alive, but Lao Shao I don't think is much longer for this world. Nope, will survive with just a little bit of health. As once again, the AD carry positioning becoming very, very crucial here. These teams, if they can get those assassins on, as Luckified maybe trying to continue going forward. Lil Condemn gotta back away. Once again, it becomes very crucial for these AD carries to get in the right position. And not just that, but also to have a team that's protecting them. The Nautilus not able to stop that LeBlanc from going in, and with the Jarvan and the Aatrox rather going full ham on the enemy team, there was nobody to keep her safe. And Dark Frenzy unfortunately left alone. Doesn't die, but definitely does not provide much in that team fight, and that is why Gimgoon and Jedi Master died without any trades to come through. Red buff going to be going over to Snowboy here. 4-1 currently. Has that Hurricane very, very strong in team fights now. Will be staying just out of sight now. Gimgoon going to pop the ult just for that move speed to get away. So there's one more team fight tool not available for Gimgoon coming up in the next couple of minutes. Here's the engage. Jedi Master window. Flag drag does not hit. That might have been a botched engage, as now the traps will try and keep this Jarvan safe, but that'll be the flash away. 300 taking so much damage, as there is the damage coming back onto the Jarvan. Here is Kog'Maw. He's pumping it out. He's melting them. And now Dark Frenzy, the only one left. Gimgoon just has to watch as his team goes into the graveyard. And that will be some towers finally starting to fall here, as Luckified will walk the minions in. Gimgoon against the world. And yeah, that botched engage cost them big time. It looked a little iffy as Gimgoon maybe in a little trouble, flashes away. But it looked like it may have been a secondary botched engage from 300. Took a lot of damage, but still able to back away. Use that W to get back. Jarvan, unfortunately, not able to do the same and went down pretty quickly. And once they slowed everyone down enough, once they gave room for that Kog'Maw to follow up, there was no chance in hell that they were going to get away. Kog'Maw at this point just completely untouched and completely off the rails in terms of damage. So Snowboy, very, very happy with how things are going. Looking, I'm taking that blue buff. Will be happy to have that one for himself. They're still trying to keep this top tower alive. Nautilus around, but definitely there's no pressure to be able to stop that. And you can see just how quickly the Kog'Maw Lulu show up. The Frozen Art completed by the Ornn and will be even stronger in these team fights. So much attack speed slowing, and that's so important on that Jinx as well, who has not had any real opportunity to get into these fights. It's been constant. Either just the team dies before she can do anything, or she's just chased out of a fight by this LeBlanc. There's been so much great play from Grompy Gromps as they've been doing this composition much more of a service than I thought they would be able to, as it feels a little bit iffy to try and do this. It's not a standard front to back comp with this LeBlanc, and they're playing it very, very well. So our fourth dragon of the game will spin up and will be taken down, as that will trigger the Baron call here. They are very aware, as Ornn will come and check this. They're going to just back away. So Ornn, oh, somebody take... Okay, cool. I was going to say, holy moly, if you do... Dark Frenzy, why is Dark Frenzy at the front of this? Has to be very careful. There's the Ornn, but very off to the side. Going to hit a bunch of people as the Polymorph. Lulu Kadem barely able to get that Zonias. And look, 300 comes around to the other side. They're too strong. They can't kill the Kog'Maw. They can't kill anybody. It's a clean ace there. And that fight just went away in a second, as now the Baron's going to go over to Grompy Gromps. Complete control of this game and complete control of the entire map. Man, that is so unfortunate. They can't do anything to this Kog'Maw. And now 9-1-5. Snowboy, massive, massive stuff. And while Snowboy has been overall playing great, I've really got to give some strong commendations there to the LeBlanc. The LeBlanc's been constantly playing well. Also no deaths on that LeBlanc, and just completely making it hard for this Jinx to play the game, coming in from so many different angles that they cannot protect Jinx from. And that power is just not something they seem to have any kind of real answer to. Jinx ult comes in, does not hit anyone important. Flash hook misses. Heal burned as well, though, from Avenel to make sure that Luckified gets away. And now the question is, what do you do if you're KNG? Because so far, there has not been a fight you guys have won. They have had slight success in the early game, but their late game is definitely not as strong. And Lokadem also not having the greatest of times here against this. Oh no, goes in, flashes. Okay. Solo bolo is now. Ornhorn comes in. Gimgoon in trouble. Will pop the ult, but not able to use anything. So much crowd control. And now Kog'Maw is there as well. Lao Shao, he just walks away. Does not walk away for long. Kog'Maw cleans that up. All right, so the thing that you do as KNG is you surrender and go to the next game. Maybe ban away that Kog'Maw, or at the very least focus that bot lane a little bit more. I mentioned it at the start of the game. There was no pressure on that bot side. They focused. They started on that red buff, moved up to the top lane, didn't really get much for it. as opposed to trying to go against this cog and try and put him down early, not able to do so. And it feels like that's coming back to bite him real hard right now. It's so unfortunate, but it is what ended up happening. And now Snowboy, Mythic be damned, will be almost assuredly winning this game as Lao Shao, goodbye, friend. So they're going to try this fight. A good Jinx Traps is not also a great flag drag. Here comes Lil Condemned to try and help. Dark Frenzy finally able to hit some people as Avenel in a bit of trouble. Hook will grab that one, and that's one kill to Dark Frenzy. All right, that's a nice turnaround for them. Major traps there from Dark Frenzy. Don't do it again. It worked once. Will not work a second time. As Lao Shao goes down on that one. Guys, the only reason that it worked is you had everybody there. You've got to have everybody in the game to help out there. And they backed away, paid the price for it. As we do see teams just kind of backing away and resetting. This has to be basically the reset for not only the soul for Grompy Gromps, but the full win at this point, as Snowboy seems too strong to stop right now. It is so very difficult to deal with this. Dark Frenzy has just had a very unfortunate game. Just the power of this Cog Lulu does not seem to be something they're equipped to handle at this point. Another Death Bush set up. They are just holding on for dear life. This is so rude. This is so very rude. It's Lao Shao. He's going to walk into this. Oh, here comes the Ornhorn. Dark Frenzy now. Going to get focused down. Will get hit by that one. And 300 picks that. Another red buff going over to Kog'Maw. And that will be the dragon as well. Soul given to Grompy Gromps, and they will just take that one. I have to imagine they're going to just push it at the game here. That feels like what you do right now. Because now, not only is Kog'Maw capable of being... Like, I feel like Cloud Soul is hidden OP on Kog'Maw. Because what you do is you don't touch it until you need to run. Because if you ult on Kog'Maw... Oh my god, that damage. But if you... when you're AD Kog'Maw, you don't need the ult, as there goes Low Condemn, Gimgoon next on the menu. Will be falling soon. Will get away for now as damage from that Titanic Hydra. So very big. Almost taking out with the splash damage himself. Snowboy, very, very strong. But yeah, with this Kog'Maw, you really can't just do anything about him. But yeah, with Cloud Soul, you at least could like maybe run him down. If you hold ult with Kog'Maw and just use the ult whenever you're getting dove on, you now become super duper goddamn fast and just run the hell away from everybody. So now here's the Ornhorn, goes on to the Jinx, who immediately gets popped. Nothing to be done about that one. Jarvan will hit the ult, but they're too tanky. They don't have the damage to do it. That's going to be another clean ace. That's going to be the end of the game. And Grompy Gromps pull off the win in game one for themselves. A little bit sloppy all around. Both AD carries have a couple of missteps, but it paid the price more ultimately for KNG. And hopefully see a little bit more from them in the next game. We are going to take a quick break as we get ready for game two, guys. But don't you dare go anywhere, because if you want to see more of that, which I enjoyed that, but if you want to see more of that, we will be back in just a moment. All right, and welcome back, everybody. We are in the draft for game 2, as we have started up, and we're seeing the Pantheon ban right away. Important to note now that No Name Gaming have decided to stay on the same side, and we have seen them also stick to that Pantheon ban, as I have upped the wrong... Oh my goodness. Okay, reset score. I guess I have to tick blue side winning for some reason, despite the fact that they're not on blue side. I don't know what's happening anymore. Regardless, doesn't matter. We have the LeBlanc and the Cogball ban this time. No Name Gaming not wanting to deal with that one again. Once again, Grompy Gromps banning out meta as expected. Cowards. Regardless, now No Name Gaming actually taking the Lulu for themselves this time, not allowing Grompy Gromps to go for anything similar. So Grompy Gromps gonna have to change up their strategy pretty strongly here. And we'll see what they want to do about that. No Name Gaming now does have to now kind of take something that does work with the Lulu. Can't go for something like a Lucian. Do need something with a little bit of late game prowess. Twitch going to be the lock-in for Grumpy Grumps first. See probably a support next. Might go for it, engage support. Might just go for the Yumi and be terrible. Might be horrible, horrible people that people just do not want to be around. But the cat being hovered as of right now obviously is a very strong match with the Twitch there. Once Twitch goes invisible, Yumi goes invisible too, which is a mechanic in the video game that I am not a fun fan of, as they say Tom and Jerry in the chat, and I'm losing my mind at it. Anyway, No Name Gaming, they will have to go for something late game oriented, something auto attack oriented. They could go for the Jinx once again. I don't think the Jinx was really the problem there. They will lock the Volibear for that early game presence and make sure, once again, Grompy Grobs cannot take that. You know, just take the composition. If you can't beat it, be it. As I believe the saying goes. Regardless, No Name Gaming does need one more pick here. I'm assuming it's going to be an 80 carry. I will not stake my life on it because that's too much to risk, but it will be the Zeri lock-in here. Now, I have mixed feelings on Zeri because I feel like in certain situations, she is insanely good. However, I don't see her succeed very often, and it might be just confirmation bias of seeing it not work that I don't feel like it's a good pick. Because it feels like she either is obscenely busted in a game where she just pops off, or she just does nothing and becomes irrelevant the entire game. We'll have to see which of the Zeris we do get, though. Silas going to be the lock-in for Grompy Gromps as their mid laner. That is a blind pick Silas, and I'm a little surprised by that because, okay, Volibear ult is solid. Lulu ult, pretty solid, but there's no, like, Malphite ult. There's nothing that I'm looking at and saying, like, okay, they absolutely want to have Silas because that ultimate is busted. So I'm a little surprised to see it. As we go, Grompy Grumps banning out the Irelia and the Singed this time. So letting the Yasuo through. Maybe see if that does come back to haunt them. Although Silas is definitely a bit more okay with the Yasuo matchup than something like the LeBlanc would be. So that is fair enough. Regardless, the Malphite ban. No Name, you were the ones that were supposed to be taking the Malphite there. But Silas, you definitely would have liked either of those ultimates. Trundle, just steal everything. Steal their stats, steal their abilities. Pick a Viego. Steal their bodies. Why not? At this point. As Nico is going to actually be locked in here. Okay. A little bit of Nico action. Very happy to see that during Pride Month. So very happy for her. So we're looking for a top laner here, a blind pick top laner. Fiora is gonna be locked in now. Fiora has received nerfs in the last patch. She is a bit weaker. Her passive has been touched to do a little bit less damage, which also means her ultimate is weaker. So it's a big change. It's a lot it affects her on pretty much all levels. Grumpy Grumps are gonna go through a couple of different champions. Rumble would not be a bad pick here, but the Poppy is going to be locked in for the counter pick. Grompy Gromps definitely feeling comfortable with that one. His teams should be getting into the actual champ select here. We can now take a look at the compositions as a whole. Zeri and Lulu, obviously a very strong matchup. And Volibear, once again, a very good early game jungler. Has so much potency in terms of how his early ganks work. You just run up, you auto attack them, they're stunned. It's easy. He farms really well and healthfully, most importantly. But I'm looking right now too at what Trundle can do in this composition. No Name Gaming, there's two instances where Trundle is extremely good. And those instances can overlap. It is a Venn diagram. So there is instance one of there is a hyper tank. And Trundle loves taking those stats because it's a lot of beefy stats for him. Instance two is when there's a solo tank. Now, Volibear is not a hyper tank, for sure. He never will be. But Volibear is the single tank on this team with that Fiora in the top lane, meaning Trundle takes the stats of the Volibear. There's essentially no tank on No Name Gaming. That's terrifying. And then you look at the Sylas, who could take the Volibear ult, be very tanky in the meantime. Fiora can obviously be an okay ult for him to take, as he does have the auto attack resets with the passive procs there. So there's a lot to be done with that as well. This is looking scary for No Name Gaming. They need to hit some late game power spikes, but I don't see a way in which they can get to those power spikes outside of mistakes from Grompy Gromps. Now, Poppy is a counter pick to the Fiora. However, it is not a hard counter. Obviously, Poppy will be able to use the Steadfast Presence and just keep Fiora from going any further into that fight. However, that is a long cooldown, and Fiora's Q, not a long cooldown. Very possible to just tank that, be okay, maybe take some damage from it, but you can absolutely work around that long cooldown and make something of that. So while Poppy does do well into the Fiora and does have counter potential, it's got to be used correctly here. And that is going to be on display, I would assume, because Fiora absolutely wants to get to that 1v2 potential. She wants to be that duelist. She wants to completely split push this game into oblivion and become extremely hard to deal with. It's just very much going to be on whether or not she can do that. It's also worth mentioning too that there is a slight hop when Volibear goes for the Q that counts as a dash for instances like Poppy's W, unless you're already directly on top of her, I believe. It's kind of like with Alawi's W. Alawi's W is technically a dash unless you're already on top of them, where you won't dash, you'll just auto attack. Now, we do see that there is obviously the Twitch and the Yuumi. Twitch and Yuumi, like I said before, Yuumi will go invisible, pop up out of nowhere. This bot lane, not going to be fun. You're constantly going to see Mia pings. You're always going to be wondering where Snowboy is. I think the great unknown here is just this Nico, because there's a couple of different things you can do. And granted, I don't see enough Nico to know what the strats are for Nico, but there's a couple of things you can do here. Roaming as Nico, you can fake that you are the jungler and really mess with people's timing of pathing. So Volibear, like last game, we saw Luckified on the Volibear go for a full clear. Nico can fake that she is Volibear, send a clone somewhere that they know is warded, and then you give fake information that they think Volibear is topside. Bot lane tries to go for an engage, and then you just have some extra power there. So there's some really strong potential there that can be really, really scary if used in the right hands. Now, there's obviously also the ultimate that in team fights can be really strong, but it's going to be a disengage tool. The big thing is that there's one engage tool really, and it is the Volibear. And Volibear can stop one person. Nico needs setup for her ultimate, and there is not AoE setup for her. There's not a Malphite. There's not something else that can follow up on it. On the other hand, Trundle Pillar can be a problem. Poppy can engage decently. Silas can engage decently. And Twitch can pop up in so many different situations that Grompy Gromps feel like once they have a solid lead going for themselves, they can keep the foot down on the pedal and just shove it through the goddamn floor. So Grompy Gromps looking like they have strong tempo potential. It's just, can they actually get it, especially with this top lane and with how strong this jungler can be in the early game. Trundle, no slouch in the early game himself, but Volibear is very, very strong if you allow him to get a gank for you. Regardless, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for this next game. Guys, we will be right back. Do not go anywhere. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are into game 2 here. Teams zooming out of the gates, and a little bit of level 1 action possibly here by No Name Gaming. Remember, we are one game deep into this, and this is No Name Gaming on the ropes And they will have to keep themselves in this game by getting a kill. Ghost on the Zeri here. Important to note. A little bit of extra mobility will come through. Apologies. I'm also trying to keep my eye on this stream to make sure it doesn't look right. If you would like to cast and or produce and help run things here, that would be great, because then I don't have to do all of this by myself. But regardless, I will do it and do it to the best of my abilities. A nice early ward here from the Poppy. You love me. Making sure that blue buff is seen. They know which side for sure this Volibear is starting on. And when most likely he will get to that blue buff. Jedi Master Window gonna start here on the red. Blue buff start for the Trundle here. And I want to impart my wisdom here. One thing I have seen not discussed enough when Trundle is in meta is just how little options in the early game Trundle has, and how little respect a lot of people give for Trundle. So Trundle, realistically, if he does not want to just fall behind, has to go for a 3-camp start. He has to go for the Gromp and the blue buff and the red buff in some order. He can only really do single target camps. He is going for a full clear here, which means he will fall a bit behind in the early game from this Volibear. As Volibear does have a bit more of an AoE clear, but one of the things that I like to call the troll toll, if you are not warding, or you are not actually respecting the fact that Trundle will generally go for early ganks, it's gonna be really difficult to avoid giving him kills, and you will pay the troll toll with your life. Now, like I said, Trundle, he is not a big fan of doing Raptors, so Luckified definitely going out of the norm here by doing these. Volibear already on his way just about to this blue buff. And with the Krugs still left for the Trundle, not going to be a great time, but both junglers going for full clears and will be... So here's what I'm saying, though. And I'm not saying that this is... because this is not going to get punished. But you think about... Trundle would be ganking right now if he went for a blue Gromp red kind of start. And Fiora up at the top side, Gimgoon has no wards, no protection, and a pillar Poppy E onto it would be absolutely devastating here. So I'm a little, I'm a little sad that's not getting punished, because I feel like that's absolutely a play that could have happened and would have gone well for Grompy Gromps, but it's still something to keep an eye on. As Gimgoon doing great. You love me spamming the joke line, which I love. It's incredibly rude. Now Luckified going for the gank. Gimgoon in a little bit of trouble. There is the Gimgoon popping the W too early. Riposte will not do anything, and that's an easy first blood. So I was a little delayed, but I was right. No ward with a Poppy and a Trundle means death for a Fiora. Unfortunately, we'll pay the price, and that does mean the teleport gets burned just to get back into lane here, so no reset option for Gimgoon if it comes to that. You Love Me does have definite control over this lane for the time being. Did not have the opportunity to get it shoved in, though, so no actual gain from that in terms of gold just yet, and You Love Me might be... Yeah, okay, we'll back away just now. I was going to say, if that fight keeps going, that's a problem for You Love Me. Regardless, a nice early gang from Luckified, who now will be able to get that Caulfield's Warhammer, and will be able to clear just a little bit more effectively here. Volibear still waiting on that first gank, has gotten the boots right away. Might be looking bot lane, but will be peeked out here. It's actually the clone from the Nico, Locadem, a little bit of trouble. And I think Trundle got a little scared there. So Nico will just back away. I really am biting my tongue on this because, man, holy moly. Look, I'm just going to go back to lane. As 300 will continue to farm. Taking a quick look at the farm. Poppy doing great so far. 30 to 27. That's kind of just the difference gained from Gimgoon dying there, and there will be definite farm to pick up there. But you love me. Very, very happy to be able to shove this in, go back. Actually did back and TP in here as Dark Frenzy. No, the pillar stops the E. Dark Frenzy now popping the ghost, trying to get away, but the E from the Twitch will pick that up. Snowboy 1-0 now in this lane, and Jedi Master Window shows up just a little bit too late. Very, very good pillar there from Luckified. Is 300 now caught out, flashing forward, still gets the stun onto 300, who's looking to go in. Does have the Nico ult himself and possibly going in, but does have Yuumi to keep himself healthy as well. So a trade there of flashes and ults there. 300 does have Nico ults still, but that looked a little bit more spicy than it probably was. This is also the price that Gimgoon's paying now too. It's a double kind of price here that You Love Me kind of gets on this, because Gimgoon not only died and had to TP back in the lane, but now with the power, with the pressure that this Poppy is putting down, there is no reset option. Gimgoon cannot go back to lane, or sorry, cannot go back to base, heal up here, and just TP back in. Gimgoon has to work with what he has, and there is no jungle attention coming his way soon either, with Volibear on that bot side doing the red buff. It's going to be a little bit before the Volibear shows up, and with Poppy ult, easy disengage. So it's going to be harder and harder to do a thing about this Poppy, and Fiora are just going to be waiting until some items come in, and that'll allow Fiora to do what she needs to do. Yeah, so we see here, I like this. We're seeing Nico actually go for what I talked about, where just going out and just throwing the Volibear around to see, hey, Volibear is here, guys. Volibear is in this bush. And in reality, Volibear is on the other side of the map. So this does mess with the jungle pathing here and trying to track a jungler. I love seeing that, and I love that this is actually being utilized as a strat. Is important to note, Yuumi roaming once again. Avenel getting a little bit of action, trying to get some things done. Low condemn. Now gonna hit a nice root there and some damage. Stops that gank in its tracks. So now they should be fairly aware that Twitch is alone. Unfortunately, as Zeri and Lulu, there's not much that can be done. But it does mean that Twitch is going to have to sack a lot of this and keep just backing away, trying to avoid this pressure. Snowboy might be getting dove here. No, wait, that is a fake Volibear. They might go for the dive anyway. Here comes the root there, and there will be the death. Polymorph comes in. Dark Frenzy picks up that kill. A very clean dive on the bot side. And that's what happens when you leave your Twitch alone. Yuumi goes for a roam, doesn't get anything out of it. And then Twitch, unfortunately, not the greatest at stopping a dive for himself. Will be Rift Herald used in the mid lane. Is Gimgoon... God, I hate that even in spec it changes the name. Oh, that is so frustrating. That will be some money picked up as Low Condemn goes back to the mid lane. Nico is truly a caster's curse. It is pain incarnate. So still waiting another 2 minutes on this dragon. Will be a little bit slower. And for the time being, I don't think we can really expect a whole lot to be coming in. I think this will be just a pretty slow game until we get another objective fight. Important to note, next dragon still will not have TPs unlocked. So neither Gimgoon or You Love Me could show up. Gimgoon has gotten a little bit back into this lane, thanks to the Sheen. A little bit better trading, as we do see Snowboy farming up as much as possible, trying to make up for that dive. Oh, Locanem getting engaged on 300, using that Lulu ult to keep himself alive. Very healthy now as Locanem probably going to have to back here with a minute on that dragon. That means no pressure in that river. Vision control is entirely given away to Grompy Gromps. And that wave push too means that even if Nico runs straight to Dragon, she's giving up some minions. She's giving up experience in that mid lane. And it is not an ideal situation. Volibear hanging up on this top side, maybe looking for a counter gank, unsure of where the Trundle is. And there's that pressure around the Dragon that we were expecting, right? Sylas able to move around freely thanks to the pressure in the mid lane. And looking to go for a lane gank here. This is interesting because you need the Trundle to really make this work, it feels like. Because Twitch Yuumi not going to set you up for anything unless there's an engage on the other side. Dragon being pinged out. Volibear already there. Poppy moving down, not even bothering with leaving that tower up there. Will miss a lot of farm, but will be here for a team fight. Yeah, Gimgood just going to use that TP onto the mid lane to try and get to this Dragon as soon as possible. Looks like we're going to get our first 5v5 here. Luckified in that front line. Once again, remember, that Volibear is the only front line. Important to note, though, don't know which Volibear is the real Volibear. So, if Luckified uses that ult on the wrong person in a fight, and it's actually Nico, Nico's not losing as many stats as the Volibear is. That'll be Yuumi popping that. They know which one is real now. Lokadem gonna get the ult stolen from themselves. And now Poppy holding on this Dragon, doing a lot, but Lokadem doing more, flashing forward. Dark Frenzy on the outside, trying to hit this damage, but Snowboy getting dove by multiple people. They can't protect him. Dark Frenzy, this is where Zeri shines. She's able to kite out so long, but she does not kite out long enough. That is a 3 for 3, and You Love Me is very, very tanky, and they have this Yuumi here. Now, here comes Poppy, doing so much. You Love Me taking a lot of damage, though, as Lokadem gonna fall. Lokadem gonna watch everybody else fall. And that will be overall a 4-4-1. A really strong fight from Grompy Gromps. And they pick up that second Dragon of the game. And we saw in that fight, immediate jump onto Snowboy, taking him down, but that did leave Dark Frenzy alone. And yeah, Zeri is capable of kiting things out, but only to a certain degree, and not enough to stop a Trundle with a pillar and a Sylas jumping on top of you. There's not enough yet for Zeri to do to actually turn out that fight back into her favor, even with that Lulu on her side. So a little bit over engaged onto the Twitch when really this Poppy is very strong and very damage heavy. This Sylas will do a lot. Luckified now coming onto that bot side. Dark Frenzy using that pillar, unable to do anything with it. Dark Frenzy has to be very aware of that E. Use it at the wrong time, and it's a bad time for Zeri. But now they're going to go forward onto Luckified, try to do this damage. But here comes 300. Now has the Volibear ult. Will jump on Jedi Master window. Going to go down as Dark Frenzy next on the list. Snowboy doing so much with this spray and pray. Dark Frenzy will fall alongside the support as Lao Shao goes down once again. Poppy winning this fight on the top side. Can't get any more procs and will just get a kill on the Fiora. Grand Duelist my ass. There goes Fiora into the trash can. And Grompy Gromps completely in control of this game so far. All across the map, it has been complete control. The only 2 deaths have been Snowboy this game. And I can't even really blame him because he's a Twitch that one got dove. Maybe just backing away, but that feels terrible. So I can't even entirely blame that one. The other one was just they traded and now, ooh, no, Luckified. Gonna go down here for a third one. Every time I mention something about the state of the game needs to change. It is a law of casting. And that is very unfortunate for Luckified, getting baited by a ward. But as I was saying, Twitch, those 2 deaths. One, you just got run down by Volibear and your team left you out to dry. Granted, they won that fight hard. But they left you out to dry. Objective Benny picked up by Jedi Master Windu. Here comes You Love Me. And 300 will be going very low. Stays alive for now, using that W and keeping alive. Avenel now left alone, but Kim Goon watches the rest of the team go down. Does not have anything left in the tank and will be run down himself. Kim Goon using that riposte a little bit, but Snowboy gonna expunge that and expunge a lot of the hopes for KNG to win this game. Yeah, the Silas is extremely hard to kill now. So much healing in this boy. And he will stay alive very long in these fights. And the Fiora just not capable of doing anything right now. Volibear has had a little bit of an impact, but it's not been enough. The Nico, unfortunately, not enough damage. And Gromps looking very powerful here. Poppy gonna be pushing in that tower, possibly getting that top side tower. Will do so with minions. And now admit it till dragon. See, Gromps very aware of it. His Dark Frenzy. That is not Dark Frenzy, that is Lil Condemn. Doesn't matter who it is. It's gonna be a death. Lil Condemn actually staying alive for a bit. We'll get the Lulu up to stay alive a little bit longer now. Zeri is here. Here comes Jedi Master Windu. They're turning this one around. Luckified now next and will have to run for his life. Does not have enough help. Here comes Yuumi to try and give him some protection. Nope, Yuumi is just going to walk away. You're on your own, pal. And 2 free kills just before the dragon. That's a major turn of events for KNG. As they pick that one up easily. Now Jedi Master Windu. Definitely has to be happy with that one. Zeri getting a lot for that, and Low Condemn does so much by staying alive in that team fight just to bait 2 people in and get a kill. They're gonna get this tower down with the Rift Herald, and it is really tough now to try and get this dragon. The resets have come through. The teams are alive. So Condemn now going to get a little caught. Actually, gets the flash out of Luckified. I don't think Luckified was fully aware of what was going on there. As now Dragon will be started, actually. KNG not stopping this one. Jedi Master Windu. Nope, not Jedi Master Windu. Lil Condemn flashing forward and will get some damage down, but does not get the dragon. That will go over to Grompy Gromps and Lao Shao, and Lil Condemn falling in the process. A double kill for the Twitch. And despite that pick, not able to get anything out of it. And once again, momentum right into the pocket of Grompy Gromps again. Control just completely in Grompy Gromps. They lost it for a second, and now will get it right back. Dark Frenzy, once again, an unfortunate game because I feel like Dark Frenzy has been playing fine for the most part. Just unfortunately does not have the ability to stay alive. The Fiora not providing a whole lot. And Jedi Master Windu just not tanky enough. And also is diving in the process. Very much diving onto the enemy team, not getting this Zeri protection. And I think the game plan needs to change up. I think right now you can't look for engages. You've got to be protecting this Zeri if you are KNG, because that is where all of your goals and aspirations lie. Oh, here comes Avenel. They go too early on it. You gotta let him walk into it, buddy. Unfortunate there. Pulled the trigger just a little too soon. And Yuumi gets away on that one. It's gotta be the crowd control. You cannot lead with anything but crowd control on the Yuumi, or you will just watch her get away. Pressure going down on that top side. Fiora trying to push on the bot, but I don't think she can match here. You Love Me and Luckified are very, very strong at the moment. They are just holding so much pressure over the nose of No Name Gaming. Getting You Love Me to try and back, will not get it. Snowboy here has the Yuumi, so much damage onto Jedi Master Windu. Here comes 300, not actually hitting onto the right person. Lil Kadem, both Nico ults going down at the same time, but Lil Kadem will fall first. Dark Frenzy has the ultimate popped, has to be very careful, and will try and kite things out as much as possible. Dark Frenzy taking some damage, but dealing a lot in return. This is what I'm saying. This Zeri can be very, very strong once she's put in the right position. Imgoon now trying to fight this Poppy. Not going to be really capable of doing so, I don't think. Has to get around. Will pop the ult. Will get the healing, but die in the process. So nothing really gained out of that. Snowboy also going to just back away. Not able to pop this inhibitor just yet, but man, oh man. This is what I'm kind of saying though. The sparks of life that come from No Name Gaming are from them taking an engage. And it is so very difficult for them to deal with this because it's so I don't even know how to put it into words, because like they can't engage. They can't be the ones engaging. They will just back away, and Dragon in a minute. Soul point already for Grompy Gromps as things looking rougher and rougher for No Name Gaming. And being hovered at the moment. They're just trying to bait. I don't mind these looks, but man, when it does not work, it is just losing more and more for No Name Gaming. They're expecting the Baron to be the call. I think what they're doing is they're seeing if the Baron is going to be picked up or if they could just start it. Control Ward will get onto that Baron. They are aware of it. They may just trade this Baron for it, as it's going down pretty quickly. Quarter down already, down to 8,000. 9,000 or 8,000, 7,000. They're going to leave it at 7,000. You Love Me uses the TP, and they use this Shirelius to get out of it. Just force the TP get away. Smart calls here from KNG, but it may just be too little too late. This does still give pressure over to the Dragon here. Everybody is up here on this on this Baron, and that means that Grompy Gromps, they get this soul, and no Baron call once again. All of that bird, they still just lose the Dragon. It was a great call until they didn't do anything with it. Oh, that is unfortunate. Why has the scoreboard gone away? I did not tell the scoreboard to go away. I apologize. I will fix that for you guys in just a moment. Put that back on. Is now a flash engage. The Volibear having to jump away. Lao Shao trying to keep him alive, but not going to stay alive for long. He's not very tanky, especially against the likes of the Twitch. And will fall. Lao Shao trying to run away. You Love Me. Just pushing him to the rest of the team. Maybe getting a little bit caught out here. Here is Zeri using the ult. Double Nico ult once again. 300 is just huge right now. And will just chase down Nico. As Dark Frenzy, he's able to kite things away, but he can't do anything to help the team. Gimgoon falling also. Another kill on the Fiora. 0-6 at the moment. And that might just be the call to push for the end of the game. They're at least going to go for this inhibitor. I think Death Timer's a little bit too short for an end, but 2 inhibitors probably going to fall out of this, and that means Baron will be very easy to pick up for Grompy Gromps. As the Baron will be started. Not much can be done as Grompy Gromps will pick that one up pretty cleanly. 6,000 gold about in the deficit, and this Baron's only going to make it worse. 300 holding on to this. They do have to be a little careful because 300 is fairly low. Jedi Master Windu, no. They're caught out. The pillar forces the flash out. Still gets the kill. 300 gets the stun. Luckified follows it up and gets the kill himself. And that'll be another kill, another Baron, and now an 7,000 gold lead, rather, for the side of Grompy Gromps. Pick up your items, walk down the lane, end the game. It is as simple as that now. Apparently, the scoreboard does not want to work with me, I guess. It is not going to be nice to me. That's fine. I don't need it to be nice. There we go. It's back. Gimgoon. Gonna hide in this bush for reasons unknown. You are very quickly gonna have to run away from this one, buddy. Oh no, Gimgoon. If they walk in that bush, that is a dead Fiora. I am unsure what the plan is here. I don't see this working out well. I'm going to be entirely real. Gimgoon hanging around on the outside, moving forward now. They're going for the engage. Low Condemn using the decoy, getting onto the Poppy, but that's not the damage site. They're going on to Snowboy. Snowboy is getting fairly low. They will get the kill. Jedi Master Widow actually staying alive right now, but the heal is not going to be enough. Gimgoon also ignited, or Grievous Wounds will fall down himself. And that is a 1 for 2, still in favor of Grompy Gromps. Dark Frenzy trying to kite this one out. Will fall soon as Lao Shao not able to dash away as easily. And now Low Condemn left alone under the towers. Easy pickup on that one. 300 gets that kill. And Zeri just watches. That is a 2-0 cleanly for Grompy Gromps as they take this series. A very easy pickup for them, and it did not look even close at one point. And I gotta give so much credit there. Snowboy did great throughout. I also think 300 this game had a very good game on Silas. And I think most importantly too, you love me, that Fiora was not doing anything, and that was a lot to do with how strong this Poppy was. Unfortunately, Fiora not the greatest of blind picks. And Poppy, one of the tougher matchups to deal with. And we kind of talked about how it was all about this Zeri, if they could at least get her going. But once again, game ends. Zeri doesn't have as much of an impact as she really needed to have. Regardless, that is the 2-0 for Grompy Gromps. Congratulations to them. Condolences to No Name Gaming. And that will be it for me. Thank you guys. I am Thousand Eyes. I have been casting this alone. I've been producing this alone. And we will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful night.